everything else fails. Items so simple and affordable that you can start building your survival arsenal today. Stay until the end because I'll show you how to protect these items from the EMP blast itself. Welcome to Financial Area, where we help you protect your wealth and your life from any crisis. If this kind of practical survival content interests you, smash that like button and subscribe for more money-saving tips that could literally save your life. Picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning and reach for your phone. Dead. You flip the light switch. Nothing. You turn the key in your car. Silent. Every electronic device you depend on has been fried in an instant by an electromagnetic pulse. This isn't science fiction. It's a very real threat that could come from a solar storm or a high-altitude nuclear detonation. The U.S. Congressional EMP Commission has issued a chilling warning. If the power grid stays down for just 1 year, up to 90% of the population might not survive. That's not meant to scare you into panic, it's meant to wake you up to the importance of being prepared. And here's the good news. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on high-tech survival gear that might not even work after an EMP. When the lights go out permanently, it's the simple analog items that become priceless. The tools our grandparents relied on before the digital age. Items that don't need batteries, don't have circuit boards, and can't be fried by an electromagnetic pulse. Let's be honest, most survival gear is overpriced and overcomplicated. Companies prey on people's fears, selling them $500 water purifiers and $200 tactical flashlights. Meanwhile, a $15 hand crank flashlight and a $25 water filter will do the same job when everything else fails. The wealthy preppers can keep their bunkers. We're going to build a survival arsenal that actually makes financial sense. When an EMP hits, the cascade failure is swift and brutal. Within hours, municipal water systems fail because they rely on electric pumps. Within days, food distribution breaks down because trucks can't navigate without GPS and electronic fuel injection systems are fried. Within weeks, social order begins to collapse as resources become scarce. But while others are stumbling around in the dark, fighting over the last canned goods, you'll have light, clean water, hot food, and the tools to rebuild. And it all starts with understanding that survival isn't about having the most expensive gear, it's about having the right gear. The first item that transforms from ordinary to life-saving is a hand-cranked flashlight. When the grid collapses, darkness becomes more than an inconvenience. It becomes a genuine threat. Unlike battery-powered devices, these flashlights generate power through your own effort. Just 1 minute of cranking provides up to 30 minutes of bright light. But here's what most people don't realize. Light does more than help you see. Studies show that having a reliable light source in a crisis reduces panic by over 60%. People with light make better decisions, stay calmer, and survive longer. Many hand-cranked flashlights also include built-in AM/FM radios and emergency sirens. For less than $20, you get multiple survival tools in one device. During Hurricane Katrina, survivors with non-battery light sources had a massive advantage. They could signal for help, navigate safely at night, and maintain some sense of normalcy. In an EMP scenario, when there's no power grid to restore, that light becomes absolutely priceless. Next, we have what I call the $3 miracle, solar garden lights. Those cheap lights that line suburban driveways become incredibly valuable survival tools after an EMP. Each light is completely self-contained with its own solar panel and a rechargeable battery. Their simple design makes them naturally resistant to EMP damage. The strategy is brilliant in its simplicity. During the day, set them outside to charge in the sun. At night, bring them indoors to illuminate your living space. A dozen lights can provide enough illumination for cooking, reading, or just keeping your family's spirits up. You can often buy them for less than $3 each when purchased in bulk. After Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico, communities used salvaged solar garden lights to create makeshift street lighting. This improved safety in areas where looters operated under the cover of darkness. These lights offered more than illumination. They provided hope and a sense of normalcy in chaos. But what about when you get thirsty?
An EMP won't poison your water supply, but it will destroy the systems that deliver and purify it. Municipal water treatment plants rely entirely on electricity. When they fail, your tap water can quickly become contaminated with bacteria, viruses, and dangerous chemicals. Here's a sobering statistic. In disaster zones, waterborne diseases increase by over 400% within just 1 week. That's why a manual water filter isn't just convenient, it's literally the difference between life and death. Portable filters like the LifeStraw or Sawyer Mini can process thousands of liters of water, removing 99.99% of harmful bacteria and protozoa. They're lightweight, foolproof to use, and cost less than $25. Without a filter, you're forced to boil every drop of water you drink, wasting precious fuel and time. With a filter, you can safely drink from rivers, lakes, or even muddy puddles. In Venezuela's ongoing infrastructure collapse, water filters have become black market gold. When the store shelves are empty and bottled water is gone, the person with a working filter has options. The person without is in serious trouble. Now let's talk about food. When the power dies, so does your high-tech kitchen. Electric stoves, microwaves, food processors, all useless. But cast iron cookware thrives in these conditions. It works on any heat source: wood fires, charcoal, propane, even makeshift campfires built from rubble. A well-seasoned cast iron skillet distributes heat evenly and holds it longer than modern cookware. It's naturally non-stick and can literally last for generations. During Venezuela's extended blackout crisis, families with cast iron cookware were still preparing proper meals months into the collapse, while others struggled with flimsy alternatives that warped or broke. But there's a safety angle here too. Fire-based cooking accidents spike during prolonged power outages, often because people use the wrong cookware. Cast iron minimizes that risk with its incredible stability and durability. You can pick up a brand new skillet for under $20 or find even better deals at thrift stores and garage sales. Here's something most people never think about. When an EMP hits, every digital clock and smartphone becomes a useless piece of junk. But time doesn't stop mattering. In fact, it becomes more important than ever. A simple analog watch becomes your anchor in the chaos. In survival situations, tracking time is essential. You need to know when to move to avoid dangerous areas, when to rest to conserve energy, and how long to boil water for safety. Mechanical watches, which run on gears and springs, are virtually immune to electromagnetic pulses. Even a $10 wind-up pocket watch can keep you precisely on schedule. During World War II, synchronized mechanical watches were critical for coordinating attacks and rescue operations. In modern disaster zones, rescue teams with functioning timepieces complete their missions faster and more efficiently. In Venezuela, survivors trade working wristwatches for food because they allow people to coordinate meetings without lingering dangerously in the open. When the EMP strikes, every cordless drill and electric saw becomes worthless scrap metal. That's when old-school, muscle-powered hand tools become invaluable. Hammers, screwdrivers, handsaws, wrenches, and pliers. These are the tools that built civilizations, and they'll be the ones to help rebuild after the grid goes down. A basic manual toolkit allows you to repair broken doors, dismantle equipment for parts, and build makeshift shelters from available materials. During Argentina's devastating economic collapse in 2001, families with even modest toolkits were able to trade repair services for food and fuel, making themselves indispensable to their communities. Hand tools are EMP-proof by design. No circuits, no batteries, no electronic components, just solid, reliable craftsmanship. They're cheap and widely available at pawn shops, yard sales, and thrift stores. In a post-EMP world, the person who can fix things isn't just surviving, they're thriving and building wealth through their skills. GPS satellites will either be knocked out or unreachable when electronics fail. In a world where digital navigation dies, a paper map and reliable compass become your ultimate survival tools. Getting lost in a post-EMP world could be deadly, especially if you're trying to reach safety or find resources. A quality compass provides consistent direction regardless of weather or time of day. Topographic maps show crucial details like elevation changes, water sources, and terrain features that could mean the difference between a safe route and a dangerous one. FEMA still lists paper maps as essential in emergency preparedness, specifically because they work in any conditions and never need batteries. A quality compass costs under $15, and you can print detailed maps of your area for free online.
Store them in waterproof sleeves for long-term durability. In Venezuela, locals have relied on old tourist maps to navigate back roads and avoid dangerous military checkpoints. With a mapping compass, you can plan safe routes, locate resources, and avoid hazards that could trap or harm you. Fire is humanity's oldest survival tool, and in the aftermath of an EMP, it becomes one of your most critical assets. Forget about fancy plasma lighters or electric fire starters. They'll be fried by the pulse. Cheap disposable lighters and old-fashioned matches will work just as reliably as they did a century ago. Fire provides multiple survival benefits: cooked food, purified water through boiling, light during dark nights, and warmth in cold weather. But there's also a psychological component. Having fire provides a massive boost to morale and reduces stress hormones in crisis situations. During the Fukushima nuclear disaster, survivors with reliable fire-starting tools were able to heat emergency shelters and cook meals, avoiding hypothermia and maintaining their strength. A single dollar store lighter can produce hundreds of flames, and matches stored properly in waterproof containers can last indefinitely. Your fire-starting supplies are finite in a post-EMT world, so stockpile generously now while they're cheap. These items also become extremely valuable for bartering. During the siege of Sarajevo, a single working lighter could be traded for a complete meal. When an EMP takes down the internet and destroys cell towers, silence becomes genuinely dangerous. A simple AM/FM battery-powered radio becomes an essential survival tool. These radios are small, durable, and can survive an EMP if you store them properly in a basic Faraday cage. Radio broadcasting is often the last form of mass communication to remain operational during major emergencies. The U.S. Emergency Alert System is specifically designed to broadcast life-saving information over AM and FM frequencies long after television and internet services are destroyed. These broadcasts include evacuation routes, contamination warnings, locations of aid stations, and other critical updates. During the massive Northeast blackout of 2003, battery-powered radios were the only source of official information for millions of people for several days. In Haiti, after the earthquake, survivors with working radios were able to locate clean water sources and medical aid, while others wandered into unsafe areas or missed rescue opportunities. A decent emergency radio costs under $20, and batteries cost just a few dollars more. Finally, when the digital age dies, so does your access to the endless library of information on the internet. That's exactly why printed survival manuals become incredibly valuable after an EMP. These books contain essential knowledge that could save your life: water purification techniques, shelter construction, injury treatment, edible plant identification, food preservation, and much more. The U.S. Army Survival Manual has been a lifesaver in conflict zones and disaster areas for decades. During the brutal siege of Leningrad, families with guides on food preservation and herbal medicine had significantly higher survival rates than those without access to this critical information. Paper books are completely EMP-proof, require no batteries, and work perfectly by candlelight or solar garden light. Even a $10 thrift store survival guide can be a complete game changer. In Venezuela, photocopied instructions for water filtration and soap making are literally traded like gold. Build a library tailored to your specific needs: gardening guides for growing food, first aid books for medical emergencies, foraging manuals for finding wild food sources. Store them in waterproof bags to protect against moisture